The call came while snow settled on the glass walls of my villa, thin as ash. "If you want to join Thanksgiving," my daughter-in-law shouted over the line, "come wash the dishes." Her voice carried the confidence of someone who believed the past was buried. I watched the Alps bruise purple at dusk and said one word: "Enjoy." I ended the call before she could breathe again. Minutes later, my phone lit up like a wound that wouldn't close. Messages, missed calls. 71 times the device trembled, begging for my attention. Someone had forwarded her the photographs. White stone, black steel, a horizon stitched with light, Switzerland silence, bought with years of restraint. I didn't smile. I remembered a different ringing. A field phone screaming in the mud, mortars writing punctuation into the sky. I remembered promising myself that if I survived, I would never beg again. My hands were steady now. That was the first lie she believed, that I had nothing, that I would wash dishes to be allowed at a table that never saved me a seat. The second lie was older. It began with my brother's hand wrapped around hers. I returned from war for her. I returned thinner, quieter, with my rage folded so neatly it passed inspections. The house smelled the same: boiled lentils, furniture polish, expectations. She stood in the doorway, eyes bright with relief that was too fast, too complete. My brother stood beside her. His hand rested on hers like it belonged there. Her belly swelled with child. The room tilted. My parents' smiles were polished, ceremonial. They blessed their sin with plates and prayers, called it fate, called it timing. They said my absence had created a vacuum. They said life had to go on. No one asked me to sit. I learned then how betrayal moves. Not loud, not sharp. It slides in on slippers and calls itself family. I left with a frozen heart. I told them nothing. I packed light. I did not ask for explanations that would insult my intelligence. I watched the way her eyes avoided mine, the way my brother spoke too gently, as if volume could break the lie. I built walls of stone, one decision at a time. My silence became my weapon. Years later, suspicion returned the way pain does, quiet, familiar, undeniable. A message meant for someone else appeared on a shared cloud account I had forgotten existed. A hospital invoice with a date that didn't align. A photograph where her ring had changed hands. I did not confront, I observed. I pulled phone records without urgency. Numbers repeated themselves like nervous tics. I watched holidays through screens, my parents aging, my brother gaining weight, her laughter rehearsed. The child grew, dark eyes, a chin I recognized. Not mine. I commissioned tests the way one orders coffee. I asked for discretion and paid for speed. DNA does not care about blessings or bloodlines. It does not flinch at tradition. Outwardly, I remained the ghost they preferred. Successful rumors, no demands. Inwardly, I cataloged everything: dates, glances, the way my mother avoided my questions by overfeeding me on video calls. I let them think time had softened me. Time had sharpened me. The envelope arrived on a Tuesday. Cream paper, black type, certainty. I read it once. Then again. The truth did not change on the second pass. 99.9. Not mine, my brother's. I invited them to lunch. No speeches, no ambush. I slid the report across the table to her first. Watched the color leave her face in stages, like a controlled demolition. My brother reached for it, then stopped, as if touch would make it contagious. My parents stared at the tablecloth. "Say it," I said softly. Not a question. "An instruction," she cried. Not loudly, strategically. My brother said my name as if it were a plea and an apology in one. I stayed composed. Composure is a blade. I did not raise my voice. I raised the mirror. I told them about the accounts they didn't know I held. The trusts seeded during nights when bullets taught me patience. I told them the house they lived in was leased, not owned. I told them the school fees came from a fund that expired at sunset. I told them I had already transferred everything back. My parents tried to speak. I held up a hand. It shook them more than anger would have. I showed her the photographs she had already seen. My life without them. The space where their approval used to live. I told my brother I had known for years. I told him I had waited because waiting hurts more when the fall finally comes. I stood. "I won't take revenge," I said. "I'll take distance." That was when she screamed. That was when the phone rang 71 times. I did not answer. Night returned to the Alps, clean and indifferent. I poured a drink and watched the lights trace order into the dark. There was no triumph in me, only alignment. The world had corrected itself. I thought of the war and the promise I made in the mud. I had survived. I had not begged. Some losses teach you where to place your weight. I placed mine forward. When the silence finally settled, it stayed. And for the first time, it belonged to me.